Welcome to this space of calm motivation. Here, you don't need to stop what you're doing. You don't need to sit still. You don't need to take notes. Just listen. Whether you're working, studying, driving, walking, or resting your mind, let these words sink in quietly. Because today, we're not talking about overnight success. We're not talking about motivation that fades by morning. We're talking about something far more powerful. We're talking about daily small habits, the tiny actions you repeat, the unnoticed choices you make, the silent routines that slowly but surely shape your entire life. This is the power of daily small habits. Chapter 1. Big dreams are built small. Most people believe that success comes from big moves, a big decision, a big opportunity, a big moment. But that belief is exactly why most people stay stuck, because the truth is simple and uncomfortable. Your life does not change in a single moment. It changes in small moments, repeated daily. You don't become confident one day. You build confidence by showing up when it's uncomfortable, again and again. You don't become disciplined overnight. You become disciplined by doing small, boring things, even when no one is watching. Think about it. A plane does not change direction by turning sharply. It adjusts by a few degrees, and hours later, it ends up in a completely different place. Your habits work the same way. Small changes, small actions, small decisions, but repeated daily, they create massive transformation. Chapter 2. Why small habits are so powerful. Here's why small habits work when motivation fails. Small habits do not require emotional energy. They don't demand confidence. They don't depend on mood. You don't need to feel inspired to drink a glass of water. You don't need motivation to read one page. You don't need confidence to take a 5-minute walk. And that's the secret. Small habits lower resistance. Your brain doesn't fight them. Your mind doesn't panic. Your ego doesn't feel threatened. And because they're easy, you repeat them. And repetition is everything. Success is not built on intensity. It is built on consistency. Chapter 3. The compound effect of habits. Imagine this. If you improve just 1% every day, you won't notice the difference tomorrow, or next week, or even next month. But over time, that 1% compounds, just like interest in a bank account. And one day, you look back and realize you think differently, you act differently, you live differently, not because of a miracle, but because of daily small habits. Most people quit because they don't see immediate results. They forget that growth is invisible before it becomes obvious. The gym doesn't change your body in one workout. Reading doesn't change your mind in one page. Discipline doesn't change your life in one day, but keep going, and one day everything changes. Chapter 4. Consistency beats intensity. Most people try to change their life with intensity. They work hard for 1 week, then disappear for 3. They feel motivated one day, then exhausted the next. Intensity burns out. Consistency builds. A little effort every day will always defeat massive effort once in a while. Always. Chapter 5. The compound effect. Deep explanation. Let's talk about something powerful, compounding. If you improve just one small thing every day, you won't notice it tomorrow. You won't notice it next week. You might not even notice it next month. And that's where most people quit. They stop because they don't see results. But growth is invisible before it becomes obvious. Just like money in a savings account. Just like muscle in the gym, just like learning a new skill. One day, without warning, everything changes, and people will ask, how did you do it? They won't see the habits. They'll only see the result. Chapter 6. Identity is built daily. Your habits are not just actions. They are votes for the person you are becoming. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you become someone who trusts themselves. Every time you show up when it's uncomfortable, you become mentally stronger. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you shape your identity. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Chapter 7. Small habits create self-respect. Confidence does not come from words. It comes from proof. And habits are proof. Proof that you can show up. Proof that you can be consistent. Proof that you can keep going even when it's boring. That proof builds self-respect. And self-respect changes how you walk, how you speak, how you live. Take a slow breath here. Let these ideas settle, because this is only the foundation. They simply run, quietly, automatically, daily. Chapter 9. Discipline is a skill, not a personality. Many people believe discipline is something you are born with. They say, "I'm just not disciplined. That's not my personality. I'm not like those people." That is a lie. Discipline is not talent. It is not genetics. It is not luck. Discipline is a trained behavior, just like a muscle. You don't build muscle by lifting heavy weight once. You build it by lifting light weight consistently. The same applies to discipline. You don't start with extreme routines. You start with small commitments, and you keep them. Chapter 10. The damage of small bad habits. Deep dive. Just like good habits compound, bad habits do too. But they work quietly, silently, slowly. Scrolling for 10 minutes doesn't seem harmful. Skipping one workout doesn't feel dangerous. Postponing one task doesn't feel serious. But repetition changes the meaning. 10 minutes becomes hours. Skipping once becomes skipping always. Postponing becomes a lifestyle. And one day you wake up and feel stuck. Not because of one big mistake, but because of small neglect repeated daily. This is how potential is destroyed. Not dramatically, but gradually. Chapter 11. Comfort is the greatest enemy. Your mind loves comfort. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels familiar. Comfort feels easy. But comfort is dangerous because nothing grows there. Growth lives in discomfort. Strength lives in resistance. Confidence lives on the other side of effort. Small habits gently push you out of comfort without overwhelming you. One uncomfortable minute today is easier than one painful year tomorrow. Chapter 12. Failure is part of the system. Let's be clear about something. You will fail. You will miss days. You will break streaks. You will fall back into old patterns. That does not mean you are weak. It means you are human. The mistake is not failing. The mistake is quitting. Successful people don't avoid failure. They recover faster. They return to their habits without drama, without guilt, without punishment. They understand something powerful. Progress is not perfection. Progress is persistence. Chapter 13. Identity reinforced through recovery. Every time you fall and get back up, you strengthen your identity. You prove to yourself, I don't quit. I don't disappear. I return. That return matters more than the streak. One comeback builds more strength than 10 perfect days. Chapter 14. Why small wins matter so much. Your brain needs evidence. Evidence that you are capable. Evidence that change is possible. Small wins provide that evidence. Completing a tiny habit releases confidence. Confidence creates belief. Belief fuels momentum. Momentum changes behavior. Behavior changes identity. This is how small habits rewrite your story. Chapter 15. Mental conditioning through repetition. Every habit trains your mind. When you show up even when you don't feel like it, you teach your brain resilience. When you finish small tasks, you teach your brain focus. When you delay gratification, you teach your brain patience. Over time, your mind becomes stronger. Not louder, not aggressive, but calm, controlled, reliable. Chapter 16. The quiet confidence of consistent people. Consistent people don't talk much about motivation. They don't need validation. They don't chase approval. They trust themselves because they have proof. Proof built quietly through daily small habits. And that confidence cannot be faked. Take a moment here. Breathe. Understand this deeply. Your habits are training you every single day. The question is not if. The question is how. Chapter 17. The Invisible Routine. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who worked a regular job. Nothing special, no big title, no social media following. Every morning, he woke up just 10 minutes earlier than necessary. Not to work harder, not to grind, just to sit quietly, drink water, and plan his day on a small piece of paper. That was his habit. 10 minutes. No one noticed, no one praised him. But after 1 year, his focus improved. His decisions became sharper. His stress reduced. Nothing dramatic happened. And that was the point. Small habits don't change your life loudly. They change it silently. Chapter 18. The student who was always average. She was not the smartest in the class, not the fastest learner, not the most confident. She failed often, and she believed she was average. One day she made a decision, not to study for hours, not to become perfect, just to study 15 minutes every day, no matter what. Some days she felt bored, some days tired, some days distracted, but she showed up. Slowly, her understanding improved, her confidence grew. By the end of the year, she wasn't average anymore, not because she was special, but because she was consistent. Chapter 19. Why small habits feel useless at first. Here's the frustrating part about small habits. They don't reward you immediately. You don't feel smarter after 1 page. You don't feel stronger after 1 workout. You don't feel calmer after 1 deep breath. That delay makes people quit. But the delay is not failure. It's incubation. Your effort is working, even when you can't see it. And one day, without warning, the result appears. That's when people say, "You're lucky." They didn't see the habits. Chapter 20. The trap of I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow feels safe. Tomorrow has no pressure. Tomorrow has no discomfort. But tomorrow is imaginary. Successful people don't wait for tomorrow. They act today in small ways. 1 message sent, 1 task completed, 1 habit practiced. Action removes anxiety. Delay feeds it. Chapter 21. The Power of Showing Up on Bad Days. Let me be honest with you. The habit that changes your life is not the one you do on good days. It's the one you do on bad days, when you're tired, when you're distracted, when you don't feel like it. Even if you do it poorly, show up. A bad workout still counts. A messy page still counts. A distracted effort still counts. Because consistency builds identity. Chapter 22. A Quiet Comeback Story. There was a time when everything felt stuck. Days blended together. Motivation disappeared. Confidence was low. So the goal became simple. Win 1 small moment per day. Just 1. Some days, that win was getting out of bed. Some days, it was finishing 1 task. Some days, it was saying no to distraction. Slowly, life started moving again. Not fast, but forward. Chapter 23. Habits as Anchors. Life gets chaotic. Plans break. Schedules collapse. Motivation fades. But habits become anchors. They keep you grounded when everything else moves. 1 morning habit. 1 evening habit. That's enough. Chapter 24. Why people who win look calm. Have you noticed this? People who are consistent don't look rushed. They don't panic because their progress is predictable. They trust their system, and that trust creates peace. Understand this. You don't need to change your whole life. You just need to change today. Chapter 25. You are closer than you think. If you've listened this far, pause for a moment. Not to think harder, not to judge yourself, just to notice one thing. You're still here. That matters. Because most people quit before change even begins. They leave when things feel slow. They leave when results don't show up fast enough. But you stayed, and that tells me something important. It tells me that somewhere inside you, there is patience, there is discipline, there is quiet strength. Daily small habits don't shout, they whisper. And the people who listen to whispers are the ones who change their lives. Chapter 26. Stop waiting for the perfect version of you. You don't need to become a new person to start. You don't need more confidence. You don't need more clarity. You don't need more time. You need one small action. Today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when things feel easier. Now. Because action creates clarity. Action builds confidence. Action changes identity. Start imperfectly. Start quietly. Start small, but start. Chapter. Let this be your system. Forget motivation. Forget hype. Forget pressure. Choose a system. One habit in the morning, one habit at night. That's enough. Protect those habits. Return to them when life gets messy. Let them carry you forward, quietly. Over time, you will become someone you trust, and that changes everything. Final message. If you remember nothing else from this audiobook, remember this. Big lives are built from small days. Strong minds are built from small decisions. And real change is built from daily small habits. You don't need to do more. You just need to do it again tomorrow, quietly, consistently, patiently. Your future self is counting on you before you go. If this audio helped you even a little, please like this video. It really supports the channel. Share it with someone who needs calm motivation today. And I'd love to hear from you. Comment below and tell me, which small habit will you start today? If you enjoy deep, calm, audiobook-style motivation like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thank you for listening. Take care and keep going.